fourth day of the lecture series. Today we have with us Suresh Kumar, who is the Chief Engineer of Irrigation Department. Suresh Kumar completed his BTech from PKM Engineering College and finished his MTech from REC Calicut. We were batchmates, and he joined the Irrigation Department in the year 1992. And 2016 to 2018, he was the Inland Navigation Director, and 2018 to 2020, he was the Chief Engineer Inland Navigation. And after 2020, he joined as the Chief Engineer Irrigation KWIL, a special purpose vehicle for the development of inland water navigations in Kerala. Again, a prestigious project of the Kerala government. And he was associated with that project when he was the chief engineer, and that is a dream project for Suresh Kumar. During his career in the irrigation department, he has executed many prestigious projects, major projects like Kannada irrigation project, then Waterways irrigation project, and he was involved in the Kutanad package, and when he was the chief engineer Kutanad, and now it's part of the inland water navigation project, especially Kovalam to Kasaragod, the inland route. He is instrumental, and he is actively involved in the development of that project. And Suresh Kumar is very much associated with my institute also, NATPAC, because NATPAC is doing the consultancy work for the inland water the developments in Kerala. Involved in 3 projects, mainly from Kovalam to Kollam, and beyond Kozhikode, Mahi, Valapattanam, etc. Thank you, Suresh, for accepting our invitation. And in fact, when we wanted to have one talk on waterway, and we found that you are the right person. You know the history of development of inland water navigation, and you have done some like a documentation also. So it's the right time so that you can share that one with the other people interested in the transportation sector. And I welcome our good friend Sadasivan also joining from Netherlands. Okay, and again Sada is again our batchmate. Myself, Suresh, and Sada, we were together. He is a professor in electrical and electronics engineering department. Welcome, Sada, to this program, and those who joined online and are also welcome to this program. And over to Suresh. You can take around 45 to 1 minute, 1 hour time, and then discussions.
Okay, good evening, everybody. First of all, I am expressing my sincere thanks to Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment and staff members of NATPAC, and especially to Dr. Samson Matthew for giving me an opportunity. Dr. Samson Matthew was my friend since 1980s at the TKM Engineering College. Later, we were together in REC for our MTech course. Then few months we worked together also. Later he went for PhD. I accepted the job in irrigation department. I retired from department as chief engineer. Since 2016, I am associated with this inland navigation project. At present, after retirement, I am working in Kerala Waterways and Infrastructures Limited. It is an SPV company for developing large projects in inland navigation sector. I have to tell special thanks to NATPAC because most of our DPRs are get prepared through NATPAC. Also, NATPAC conducted several scientific research and study reports on inland navigation sector. So I have once again thanking NATPAC team for their assistance to us in developing inland navigation sector. Recently, this inland navigation sector gained a lot of attention because state government has revealed its potential in tourism sector, transportation sector, as well as employment generation. So the current Chief Minister, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan, he has considered this project as one of his priority project. And monthly he taking 1 hour time to review the activities in this sector. Also, he has given some timeline for us to complete this project by 2025-26, so as to get the advantage benefits of this waterway system for the people of Kerala. So we are working hard to attain this aim. So a few years back, I think 2005, then President of the nation, Sri Abdul Kalam, he came over to Kerala and addressed the Kerala State Assembly, in which he identified a few projects for the sustainable development of Kerala, in which one was the inland waterways. He insisted the need for developing inland waterways as smart waterways in Kerala. Kerala is often designated as God's own country because we have 44 rivers and 35 backwaters and lakes, about 3,000 mm annual average rainfall. So the abundance of water is always necessary for smart waterways. Normally this term smart waterway means a waterway which can be used 365 days in a year. Normally in other places, there will not be sufficient water in summer season. So the waterway cannot be used in summer season. In northern countries, this winter season, there will be ice deposit in waterways. So in 2-3 months in winter season also, waterways may not be useful. But in Kerala, the environment as well as the climatic condition is suitable, and we have a lot of water, and throughout the year water will be available in the waterways, so it can be developed as smart waterways. We are aiming for such a development in inland navigation sector. So it is better to have a brief idea of the navigation canal system in the world and its history. Probably one of the very ancient canal, artificial navigation canal is a Suez Canal. It is not the present Suez Canal. About 4,000 years back, there was an Suez Canal artificially constructed for connecting Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. 4,000 years back, the Egyptian rulers constructed a canal in east-west direction, directly connecting Red Sea to Nile River. But the environmental issues were not considered at that time. This canal was flowing through desert area. So always there will be wind which carries a lot of sand. This sand got deposited on canal. So its maintenance was very, very difficult. In addition to that, the salinity intrusion from Red Sea to River Nile polluted the river water. Because of that, gradually people neglected this canal and it was completely filled up with the sand. At present, it is not there. Later, the new Suez Canal was constructed in north-south direction, directly connecting Red Sea to Mediterranean Sea. That is what one existing at present. The earlier one was perpendicular to that. Another major achievement in artificial inland canal development was in China. It was a real wonder. About 1,700 kilometer canal was constructed between Yellow River and Yangtze River. The purpose of this canal was to transport food grains from southern region to desert areas of the North China. This canal have a length of 1,700 kilometers, but it construction started somewhere in BC 200, but it was fully developed only during 15th century. That means it took around 17 centuries to construct this canal. As far as our nation is concerned, such descriptions about the artificial canal construction is not available. History is not properly maintained in our country. So we are not know which exactly the canal artificially constructed in India first. Anyway, when we come to the Kerala, the dynasties of Kochi, Travancore, Malabar and Arakkal played a major role in developing waterways. So we have, as I told earlier, 35 backwaters are there. By constructing small canals between these backwaters, the reach of this navigation system can be improved. So the earlier attempt was for that purpose. The first one is the Alappuzha Town Canals, which was actually constructed by Raja Keshavadasan. He was the founder of Alappuzha city as well as Alappuzha port. Between 1780 and 1790, he constructed 2 canals across Alappuzha city to connect Pamba River to Alappuzha port. This was probably the first artificial canal in Kerala. The next 2 attempts were from 2 lady rulers of the Kerala. The one is Arakkal Bibi. She is considered as the founder of Sultan Canal in Kannur district. The Kawai waters are connected to Valapattanam River through a 4.5 kilometer artificial canal. This canal is known as Sultan Canal. She gave this particular name Sultan Canal for honoring Tipu Sultan. This canal is now renovated, and you can see the picture of this canal reach. The next one is the regent of Travancore dynasty, Srimati Rani Parvati Bai. She ruled this Travancore between 1815 and 1829. During that period, she instructed to construct several canals for connecting backwaters in Kollam and Trivandrum districts. So this canal construction started somewhere in 1815, and a major portion of this canals in Kollam and Trivandrum constructed during that period. So you can see a view of a Chaka, Botijetti and the canal in Trivandrum. This was photographed during 1920. However, after the construction of, even though these canals were constructed, this cliff at Varkala was one of the major hurdles. No canal was constructed between Anchitanga Lake and Nadara Lake. The journey was possible only up to Anchitanga Lake from Kovalam, and from north it was possible only up to Nadara. And between that, multiple handling was needed at that time using bullock cart. These goods were transported from Nadara Lake to Anchitanga Lake because of this cliff. Later, during 1870s, W.C. Barton was appointed by Travancore Maharaja as Chief Engineer of Travancore State. He has been invited to Kerala State, this Travancore State, for developing about 1,000 miles of road system, 250 bridges across rivers, about 300 miles of navigation canals in Alappuzha and Kollam district, then construction of few government buildings. So he visited Travancore, and for 6 months he was here. After that, he submitted a report to then Travancore Maharaja. His suggestion was to start a separate department for public work constructions. So his suggestion was to start a Travancore PWD. Then one chief engineer is required, one deputy chief engineer is required, and 7 divisions, 4 bridges and roads division, 2 waterworks division, and 1 buildings division. So Maharaja agreed this proposal. So he, in addition to that, he asked 2 lakh rupees every year budget provision. That also agreed. And thus in 1868, Travancore PWD is started. It was one of the Asian department in Travancore. Barton was its chief engineer. So within 15 years, he accomplished all these promises. That means 1,000 miles of road network and about 250 bridges, including hanging bridge at Punalur. And then 300 miles of navigation canals in Alappuzha, Kottayam, and Kollam. And also, he constructed 2 tunnels in Varkala for passing over this cliff portions. The first one is Chilakur Tunnel, which was constructed in 1876. This was actually the second tunnel in navigation canals in world. The first one was in Birmingham, England. This was the second one. And third one is Shivagiri Tunnel. It was completed in 1878. So after completion of these tunnels and navigation canals and road system, he left Travancore. So he was actually the paved way for this infrastructure development of Travancore in late 19th century. Another noticeable figure is Arthur KWIL was the collector of Malabar. During 1840s and 1850s, he was the collector. He had a dream to construct a canal connecting Mangalore in the north and Kochi in south. So Mangalore-Kochi canal was his dream. So during his period, he started constructing a canal from Kutiyadi River to Kallai River. This canal is at present known as KWIL Canal, passing through Calicut town. You can see the view of a jetty at Pannani. Very crowd we can see there. These photographs were early 20th century. So we can look upon this present scenario of canal system in Kerala. So one of our dream is to construct a continuous canal system connecting Kovalam at the south and Bekal at the north. The total length of this canal will be 616 kilometers. At present, in 550 kilometer portions, continuous connectivity is available. At various locations, about 34 kilometer portions, at present the canals are not there. We are acquiring land, and after land acquisition, canals are to be constructed to ensure a continuous connectivity from Kovalam to Bekal. So if the present canal system is concerned, it was not in use since 1970 because the railway and the road network developed during that time, and because of that, this waterway was totally neglected. The maintenance was not done after that. So because of the sediment deposits and the lack of width and depth for the modern inland vessels, these canals were neglected since 1970. Now, in most of the portions, it was not possible for using as navigation canal. So the lot of development activities are to be arranged for developing this canal as waterways. Meanwhile, central government declared a 328 kilometer portion between Kollam to Kallai as national waterway, and it will be developed by central government using central government fund by central government agency IWAI. The remaining 218 kilometer portion has been developed by state government using state government fund. My organization KWIL is attending for this 288 kilometer portions. So at present, wherever canals are not there, where land acquisition is progressing, and many other activities are already arranged for developing canals. Another major hurdle is existence of very old bridges do not have vertical clearance for navigation. There are road bridges, footbridges, and railway bridges, high tension and low tension electrical lines, etc. across this canal, which may not have sufficient height for the movement of modern inland vessels. So these structures are to be replaced, and replacing is a Herculean task. So often inland waterways are said to be the environment-friendly navigation systems. If you consider the various mode of transportation, a standard carrier in a road, a truck can carry 10 tons or 20 tons of load. In rail system, a train can carry 500 to 200 tons. Inland navigation vessel can carry 200 to 1000 tons goods in one barge. However, in development standard in Kerala is a national waterway class 3 with a 2.2 meter width and a 2.2 meter draft and a 32 meter width. And in several places, a lot of bends are there. The bend radius is not sufficient for negotiation of large vessels. And because of that, the possible load carrying capacity is estimated as 500 tons only. Even if it is 500 tons, 2 barges can carry 1000 tons. And for carrying the same load, 200 rail wagons, 20 rail wagons are required. Or if it is 20-ton trucks, 50 trucks are required. So number of vehicles are more in road. Similarly, if you consider the fuel consumption, it also very less in water transport. And the emission of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide, if these 3 parameters are considered, this also comparing with the other 2 modes of transport, in water transport it is very less, and because of that we often call it is the environmental friendly mode of transportation. Another aspect is to be considered is the cargo movement in Kerala. We are investing a lot of money for inland navigation development, but comparing with that investment at present, the cargo transportation is very less. At present, it is happening only in Kochi area for transporting certain chemicals to industries like FACT. Chambakara Canal and Udyogamandal Canal are useful for transporting these chemicals. And from 17-18 onwards, it is gradually improving, but the total quantity is very meager. It is only 7.35 lakhs metric tons during 2021. Comparing with the overall goods transportation in Kerala, it is even 1% is not there. So this picture shows the situation of canal few years back. The canals were used for depositing waste. The bridges and footbridges are with very low vertical clearance, which is not sufficient for modern vessels, and the canal fully filled with the water, hyacinth and other waterways. So it cannot be used for navigation. So we arranged a lot of works in various portions. This is a picture showing the development activities in Vadagara-Mahi Canal. It is an 18-kilometer canal. It is almost 15 kilometers already completed. This is the view of a Parvati Patnara, which was cleaned and developed recently. This is a canal stretch at Kollam town. It is development is completed recently. This is the Vadagara-Mahi Canal, various stages. This canal is developed with a 32-meter width and a 2.2 meter draft. This is the Sultan Canal after its renovation completed recently. So our northern destination is Bakel Fort. So we can discuss about some portions where the canals are not existing. One is a 1 kilometer portion of Vadagara-Mahi Canal where the work is arranged. It is slowly progressing. Another one is between Mahi River and Eranyoli River. 9.2 kilometer canal stretch is to be constructed. So land acquisition is progressing in that portion. Another one is between Eranyoli River and Dharmadam River. A 800-meter long canal is to be constructed. And another one is between Anjarakandi River and Valapatnam River. A 15-kilometer canal is to be constructed. Land acquisition is progressing there. And when it comes to the extreme north, for connecting Neeleswaram to Bakel Fort, around a 16-kilometer new canals are to be developed, in which two portions are rivers. One is Neelacharam River, and the north side it is Chitari River. Between that, around a 6.5 kilometer artificial canal is to be constructed. So land acquisition, waiting for government orders for this particular stretch of canal. So now we can think about the utilization of the waterways. One of the major utilities is water transport. At present, the Kerala State Water Transport Department is conducting water transport using their 81 boats. And our estimate is around 80,000 people using daily this water transport for moving to 13 stations using this 81 boats operated by Kerala State Water Transport Department. However, this transport is limited in Alappuzha and Ernakulam districts. Recently, some activities are started in Kollam as well as at Kannur. But there are numerous potential there to develop water transport. One of the major issue, the water transport department have only very old boats. And another issue is its slow speed. Now, water transport department have vessels having speed of 5 to 8 knots only. But people like more speed, so they may not try for this water transport at present. So if you introduce a speed ferry service, one of the example is water metro at Kochi, and for water metro we are using 10 to 15 knots vessel. So it is a comparatively the speed is a double, so the people may attract to such services. So water metro service, or we can say it is speed ferry service in other places also using modern vessels. Then only people will attract to water transport. So water transport department itself started some new attempts. One new vessel they achieved recently. It is a electrically powered vessel, Aditya. It is flying between Ernakulam and Vaikam. This is a modern vessel acquired by for water metro, and its speed is about 15 knots. The water metro will be fully functional shortly in Ernakulam. We have to explore the possibilities in other places also for water metro services. There are enough potential at Kollam utilizing this Ashtamudi backwaters. And in Trivandrum, it is possible between Kadanangulam Lake and southern portions of Parvati Pathanar. Because a lot of IT industries, supermarkets, and Jubilee railway station, airport, etc., located on the banks of Parvati Pathanar. So, water metro service, there is a possibility at Trivandrum also. And our holding organization is Kochi International Airport. The KWIL is working under CL. We also acquired a solar powered boat recently. Now it is functioning at Musiris. So soon we can come back to cargo transport. The major difficulty we are facing is the lack of proper barges for carrying goods. At present, Kerala government introduced a cargo transport subsidy. That means we are giving the private players rupees 1 per ton per kilometer as a subsidy for transporting goods along waterways. In addition to that, some vessel subsidy also to be introduced with the condition that once the vessel is acquired, some 10% of this cost will be shared by government as subsidy, but they have to use this vessel in Kerala, and it should run for at least 10 years in Kerala. So vessel we had given a recommendation for a vessel subsidy to state government. It is under consideration. Shortly, it may be implemented. Once this vessel subsidy and the cargo subsidy is properly introduced, then we can expect more private players in inland navigation sector for barge operation. Then another shortcoming is terminals with loading and unloading facilities. At present, 10 such terminals are available in Kerala along National Waterway between Kollam and Kottappuram. The IWA provided some loading and unloading facilities also in these terminals. In other places also loading and unloading terminals with the loading and unloading facility to be introduced. Then these hazardous goods like chemicals and petroleum products to be transported to waterway. Some regulations are to be introduced for this transportation of hazardous goods and petroleum products. In that case, a lot of materials can be transported along waterway because this Cochin refinery and most of the chemical industries are located in Kochi on the banks of this waterway. So transportation will be very easy in that case. Then another requirement is the introduction of the Ro-Ro type service. Water transportation, one of the disadvantages when goods are transported along waterway, it required a multiple handling because it can be transported up to a terminal on the bank of the canal. But the industry will be located somewhere else. So once again, it has to be transported in lorry up to the industry. So multiple handling, loading, unloading again at the terminal, unloading and loading to lorry, then lorry unloading at the industry. So this multiple handling is a costlier item, and because of that, nobody will turn to inland canals. In that case, a Ro-Ro type service a solution. The vessels can be carried in large barges. At present, a Ro-Ro service is introduced at Kochi. The vessels used for Ro-Ro services in here. One of the major sector where the utilization of waterway is tourism sector in Kerala. Actually, the tourism sector is its economic aspects are concerned as well as employment generations are concerned. It is only next to IT industries in Kerala. So the tourism sector have a lot of development possibilities in Kerala once these navigation canals are developed. Even at present, about 30 to 40% tourists are coming for seeing backwaters and houseboat, enjoying the trips in houseboats, etc. At present, these houseboats are limited only in Kochi and Alappuzha. We can introduce such activities in other parts also once these canals are developed. Long river cruise is another attractive scheme. At present, the foreign tourists are enjoying. They require 4 or 5 days in canal. So such a long trips are called river cruise or canal cruise. So that will bring a lot of economy for this houseboat industry. So we are planning a lot of activities in developing tourism sector with some minimum essential infrastructures will be provided by state government. The remaining activities are to be arranged in PPP model. One of the recent activity we have undertaken is transit-oriented economic corridor development. Actually, once this waterway is developed, it's the economy gained by the state government and the private players in the state are to be assessed. So we have to bring a lot of private players for this tourism development to inland and the utilization of the inland waterways. At present, KWIL Inland Navigation Department and KWIL jointly started the preparation of a master plan for the development of West Coast Canal as a transit-oriented economic corridor. We started the data collection for that. That means all industries and other stakeholders possible for utilizing waterway will be enumerated, and we will contact them for investment in water-related activities. And another objective is to identify locations for jetties, terminal, inland port, tourism amenity centers, location for water sports, warehouses, fish landing centers, and cold storages, and the possibility for connecting coastal shipping and inland navigation. and then the exploring various possibilities for PPP model development and the assessment of the employment generation. These are the basic objective of this study and the master plan preparation. And it is already started, and we are expecting within another 6 months we can present this master plan to the state government. So once this corridor development possibilities explored, we can invite private players for utilization of this navigation canal system. A lot of activities we can arrange parallelly for this multimodal logistic park, logistic hubs, and then tourism, developing tourism villages, and also for a modal shifting of hazardous good transportation to waterway, and the introduction of this eco-friendly vessels and speed ferry services. Tourism sector, as I said earlier, is one of the major possible achievement because it will expand this economy of the state as well as the employment, helpful for the employment generation. So the first, this is providing some tourism amenity centers along the banks of the canal. So we are planning to acquire at least 2 locations in every district, acquiring 30 to 50 acres of land, and where the basic amenities will be provided by state government. That means boat jetties, terminals, road connectivity, etc. The remaining activities are to be taken up by private parties. They can invest there. Various tourism activities they can introduce there. So this tourism sector development is very essential for Kerala because apart from this IT industry, no other industry is growing at present in Kerala because of various problems, lack of land, and several other issues. So we have to develop the tourism sector for employment generation as well as the economy of the state. So our plan is to develop the entire canal system and state-of-art infrastructures to be provided on the canal by 2025-26. So by 26, the people can enjoy the tourism amenities and other advantages of waterways. So the basic, as I said earlier, basic infrastructures will be provided by state government, and other last and developments are to be developed by private practice. So the total investment for this purpose is estimated as 650 crores. And one of the major source of financing is KIFBI. So once this funding is ensured, we can develop this canal system as a economic corridor of the state of Kerala. So with this few words, I am concluding my talk. Thank you all.
Thank you, Suresh, and the time for interaction. Professor Dingraj, sir, I think you are attending the program. Professor Dingraj, sir, are you? I'm audible. Okay. Fine. This is a time for interaction. Those who are wanted to interact or listen, clarify some points. This is a time.
Hi, Suresh. Can you
Hi.
hear me? Suresh, thank you for a very nice presentation. Yeah. Many of those things are unknown to people who work in different areas. Right? So I was amazed to see the potential for economic growth by developing good water transportation systems, right? Because as we all know that the good transportation system is essential for economic growth of a state. And Kerala being a state where we have a lot of waterways, I think, this is a very good initiative to renovate the old canals or, and then build new canals for improving the water transportation systems. And I think with the developments in technology, by which we can develop solar powered water, motors, I think this is going really good in terms of development and economic growth of the state. This is not a question, but a good comment from my side.
So we already started an initiative for solar powered boats. We acquired on 25 seated air conditioned solar powered boat. The one is seeing in this picture. At present in Musiris tourism village, it is flying.
Yeah, that's nice. I think this should be exploited in more places within the state.
Yes, once this infrastructure is provided, that is for charging. Even though it is solar powered, some battery backup is also required. Because when it is move along, this canopies will block this solar energy. So when we travel for a long distance, battery backup also required for this particular boat. So this charging facilities are to be provided along the waterway in boat jetties. So that such infrastructure will be provided by us soon.
Yeah.
And this is also a water transport department recently possessed on electrically powered boat. This also required a charging facility at a terminal.
Yeah.
So we are planning to have such a changes. The conventional internal combustion engines are to be replaced by solar power and electrical engines.
Yeah, on-road vehicles all over the world, as you can see, it's been taken over by electrical vehicles instead of IC engines, petrol and diesel engines. So I think that should be extended to water vehicles also, right?
Yes, yes, surely.
Yeah. And we have abundance of solar power, which should be tapped. The Cochin International Airport is one of the. I think this is the example to show the whole term of the airport is run by solar power. Yeah. So,
yes, yes.
Thank you, Sada. Probably, you can give the input related to the solar or even the electrical related one. We can go for a better vessel or something like that. And probably you can share your experience because you have seen so many models, different places across the world.
There are some European projects where they are developing electrically powered, ferries. These are huge vehicles, so it is possible for us to build small vehicles which can be used for transportation within our state. Yeah.
Yes, in our state also it is possible, but the state of art of building these boats are available in state itself. These two boats are constructed in Kerala only. This Aditya as well as in our solar boat. But the government or players are to come for buying such a new vessels.
Yeah.
Once the canals are developed, naturally it will come.
Yeah. I think the road transport is. I've been reading that the transport buses, all Volvo buses, they bought those buses and they are now not operational, right? And you also mentioned, Suresh, in the beginning of your talk that there are these the waterways vehicles are old ones, and then there's not enough speed for people, right? So those
Sure.
are the things one has to take into account when developing new systems or new vehicles, right?
Yes, sir. We are already given some suggestions in this regard because IC engines are to be discouraged in a waterway because it is polluting. The oil spillage
Yeah.
will pollute water. So
Yes.
as early as possible, we have to replace the IC engines and instead of solar powered or electrically powered engines are to be used. We
Good.
already have given some suggestions.
Good.
Within
That's
another
good.
5-6 years, I think a lot of private players will come because the industry is already started for construction of electric powered engines as well, boats as well as solar powered boats in Kerala. Some few
Great.
organizations already started at Cochin and on at Cherthala.
Right.
Hello.
Good.
Yes, sir. Professor Vignesh, sir, please.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very fine.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful presentation, giving all an exhaustive analysis of whatever is going on in Kerala, particularly with respect to tourism. My only suggestion is that when you are going for solar powered boat, then why you need charging stations and all that? Because you can have a sort of a charger. Solar, it can be directly additional. You can put it there in the boat itself, which could be yeah.
Sir, in my experience, we had one solar boat.
Uh-huh.
But when we travel for a distance like 20 kilometer like that, then
Yeah.
the solar power alone is not sufficient for return journey.
Oh, is that the thing? Is it? Because I thought
in that-
you could have one solar battery or another solar battery, three you could keep, which could be charging as you are moving. They charge that one also.
The problem is a total area where we can solar panels can be kept is top of this vessel.
Yeah. Okay.
Then these canals are having a lot of canopy, lot of trees on the sides of this canal.
There you want to charge. Okay.
In such cases, we may not sufficient charge will not come through this solar panels. So in that case, as a standby, some electrical systems required in this vessel. So it is a combined solar power.
Like in buildings, we are asking they should produce about minimum say 12 to 25% solar power in the residential area also. Then they say, where do we put the panel? One could be at the top, others could be at the windows also. We are telling, okay, slanting windows, you can put panels all across. So here also, maybe not only top, on the sides also, they can put panels so that the input could be increased. Okay.
Sir, these are tourist vessels. So the sites should be open as far as possible because they want to see outside.
Yeah, let it be open. That could be slanting, no, all around slanting, but they can still see through all around. And
Of course, sir, we can
put on like windows here. You could put a slanting panel somewhere, covering. So on that again you can put more. Instead. Just one can try.
we can try, sir. We can try how to increase that total solar panel area.
Yes.
So to get the complete power from solar system, sir.
That's right. I'm happy to note that when I visited Trivandrum for Prithvi conference, long back, of course, when I was the research council member of NATPAC. So there, when I gave my lecture and I came out to go to the airport, immediately outside, some fellow, a taxi fellow, kindly have a ride in my solar power taxi. That was maybe 20 years back. And
2005, Professor.
yeah,
2005.
I just moved around and it was very pleasure. But then I don't know why this thing don't come into the market for so many years. Because the big producers and all that, they don't allow these small things come into the market. This is another problem. So solar power in Kerala, I think they have been going on with taxi and other thing also. Okay. So, but only thing is that increase the input, as we go. Okay. That's it. Or maybe some dynamos could be kept, which could be charged through solar, maybe. Okay. Like train, when moves no train, so they have dynamo, they are charging, and again that can be used again back. So this way it can be done. You are lucky that you have a calm water, waterways and all that. Okay, and recently I visited, Cochin, and stayed in a hotel, and then we visited all around, and we went for a long drive through boat and all that. I mean, tourism, that is really wonderful, and lot of tourist attraction. So we have to again promote more tourism facilities. Okay, I mean, some viewpoints, so many things one can introduce. Okay. So that is another thing. Tourism point of view, we have to make it more popular, more facilities to be provided like that. Another thing I will tell you, it may not be long. We are developing a like a elephant village, global village, as a heritage project. So there we are trying to tap all the things which are pertaining to that area. Like in hillside, we are developing trees. Trees maybe with the fruits. I mean all possible fruits in that area, and then grafting, and maybe on one tree there could be 4 or 5 fruits. Okay, of that area, and then maybe some packaging industry, and then exporting also. I mean, in just one item, I'm saying there are so many other things one can make produce, for the raising the economy of that area. Okay, so many. Like we are also training the college students in the manufacture of the small solar items. Okay, solar fan, solar lamp, and so many things, so that they are trained, they set up their own workshop, and then start manufacturing. That is IIT. I mean, they have taken up this project. I mean, so many places for solar powered equipment, and to be produced and all that by the students. They are trained, they are given loan and everything. They can start the work. That way again, economy can be. I'm just an idea. Okay. Thank you very much. It was wonderful, quite exhaustive presentation.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Suresh, Professor Aditya is Professor of Emeritus at IIT Bombay. Like he was, he retired from IIT Bombay. A long like a service there, and well experienced and involved in many programs of NATPAC, and not only NATPAC, and all over India, like transportation related. Thank you, sir,
Thank
for your presence.
you. All the best. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, there is one query in the chat box. Even though water transportation is an important mode in Kerala, why the state water transportation is not much beneficial or economical? It's from Kirti.
You mean the passenger transport or the entire transport system? The
It's from
question is
Kirti.
not clear.
Oh,
It will be combined, goods and passenger combined with also.
Kirti, you may unmute and can ask directly.
Hello?
It's passenger transport, sir. It's passenger transport. She's mentioning about passenger transport.
So the passenger transport is concerned, the only one department, Kerala State Water Transport Department, is operating vessels for water transport. They have only some 81 very old vessels. This is the new one. What you are seeing this slide is Aditya is electrically powered boat. The other rest are IC engines are very old, and most of them are in a dilapidated condition. And recently 2 or 3 accidents were occurred on at Muhammad. Several people died. And I think because of that, nowadays people are very sparingly going in Kerala water transport vessels. New vessels they have to introduce. That is the only solution. And also the speed is to be increased. only these two items are properly addressed, then we can bring back the people to water transport.
No. See, normally water transport, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
water transport, why it is not economical? My analysis or my going into the projects in Mumbai area, we wanted to West Coast, passenger water transport, and we have given it 3-4 times. It is accepted by the people. Okay, that we will go for this one. They will do that, but after 6 months, 4 months, they come and give back, surrender. We can't do it. So we found the reason. What was the reason basically? It is not economical, and so we have to make it economical for the person who is taking it up. So for that, the facilities at the terminal should be constructed by the government. Then only it may be possible. And then also, if it is a PPP mode, then you have to permit them to construct some shops or something on the terminal so that we can earn more money. Okay, and which is never permitted. That's why it was going hayway. I mean, every time we give it, and 2-3 times these people surrender. Okay, we can't do it. It's not economical. In the beginning, they thought. So, the facilities should be provided by the government. So that and all these, and then they should also be given them some area, something developed so that they can develop some shop, something related to transport on the terminals itself, so that they can earn money and then it will become economic. That may be the only possibility. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Any other questions?
Nothing is there in the chat box, sir.
Okay. Any participants would like to ask or interact? Sabda, you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. If there's no other question, no more questions, probably Sabda, you can give a thanks note to our mentor, Suresh.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Respected Director NATPAC, Professor Dhingra, and Sri Suresh Kumar, Chief Engineer KWIL, who is here to deliver this lecture, and all those who are attending this lecture today, both online and offline. First of all, Suresh sir is a very noted figure among all those who are working in the field of waterways, and he needs no introduction among us. And he knows anything and everything about this waterways in Kerala, as he worked so long in this area. And during his lecture, he started from the history of waterways, then about the developments taking place in the waterways in Kerala, and elaborated about the different types of waterways, transport, passenger, cargo movement, then the tourism sector, and about the future prospects of waterways, etc. So I would like to extend sincere thanks for accepting our invitation, and also for presenting such a nice talk during this occasion of completing 50 years of science and technology in Kerala, on behalf of NATPAC and KSCSTE. Thank you, sir. And also, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all those who attended this event, and also for conducting a nice interaction after this event. So thank you for attending this event. Thank you, sir.
So thank you all. Thank you, Professor Dhingra sir. Thank you, Professor Sadashivan also. Thank you, Suresh, for your active presentation. Yeah.
Thank you all. We can wind up.
Yeah. Okay. Good day.
Okay, thanks, sir.